Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Umajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaga Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandegam Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarviyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Isvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraham Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, contents of the Gita summarized. So this chapter has got 72 slokas. Here, in the first chapter, when Arjuna was giving so many reasons to Krishna that why he should not fight, Krishna was just listening to him. Krishna didn't say anything to him, but he was very attentively listening to Arjuna. In fact, in the starting from the second chapter onwards, in the entire Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is answering very, very clearly. For each and every question, Krishna is giving complete answers. And at that time, Arjuna was listening very attentively. And even at the end, Krishna asks Arjuna, did you hear everything very attentively? Kachiteta chrutam pata tvaikagrena chetasa. Kachitajnana sammogaga pranastaste dhananjaya. So did you hear everything very attentively? Are your illusions are gone away, are gone now? So that's what Krishna asks. But in the first chapter, Krishna is listening everything very attentively, whatever Arjuna told Krishna. But in Arjuna, in the first chapter, he gave a lot of reasons to Krishna why he should not fight. Now, what we are studying in the second chapter, starting from the sloka number 31 to 38, Krishna is giving reasons to Arjuna that why he should fight. We know that Krishna already told Arjuna that you are a soul, so a wise man laments neither for the living nor for the dead. So we are Atma. So that point is very clear. So that's why starting from that, from the 11th sloka to 30th sloka, in 20 slokas, Krishna has very, very clearly explained to us about the soul. That we are not the body, we are the soul. That point is very clear to us right now. Very scientifically, very clearly, very nicely, Krishna explained to us everything. So, the soul is changing bodies. In this life itself, we keep on changing bodies. So similarly, at the time of death, we will change another body. So this change of body is continuously happening in our body. Always, the cells in our body is always dividing. So if the cells are all the time dividing, means the body is keep on changing. Even some cells take many years to divide also, but still the material inside that cell is not the same. The biomolecules are keep on changing. So that way the body is all the time changing. That's why Krishna is teaching us that the one which is not real is always changing, but the one which is real is never changing. So the soul is never changing. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate sato. So a lot of important points in this 20 slokas itself, Krishna taught us very, very clearly. One thing is that he taught us very clearly that we are not the body, we are the soul. And also Krishna told in one sloka very clearly that being ourselves equal in both success and failure. So in these two slokas, in the sloka number 14 and 15, Krishna is teaching us that one should be able to tolerate all these dualities in this material world. That also Krishna is teaching us very clearly. So Matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama payinu anityaga tamsitiksasva bharata. So the non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They always come and go. It's going to come, both are going to come and go. We cannot stop, but we can learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So that is the important point Krishna is teaching us, that one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So having understood that we are not the body, we are the soul, and if we are able to tolerate this dualities in this material nature, especially this sukha and dukkha. So all the dualities arise from our happiness and distress, basically sukha dukkha. And if we are able to be equal in both sukha and dukkha, sama dukkha sukham dhiram, somritattvaya kalpate. So one who is equal in both happiness and distress is eligible for liberation. Somritattvaya kalpate, he is eligible for liberation. So that way we understand, even in the second chapter itself, within these 20 slokas itself, Krishna is very clearly teaching us that we are not the body, we are the soul, but we should not be bothered by anything in this material world. When we are equal in everything, so then we will be eligible to liberate from this material bondage. So that's what Krishna is teaching us. And very scientifically, every sloka, Krishna taught us very clearly the nature of the soul. The soul has neither birth nor death at any point of time. It has not come into being. It does not come into being. It will not come into being. And it is eternal. It is unborn. And the soul is not destroyed when the body is killed. Nothing happens to the soul when the body is destroyed. Najayate mriyate va kadasin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaga ajo nityaga sasvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamani sarire. So the soul is, nothing will happen to the soul. We are that soul. We are not the body, we are the soul. That's what Krishna is teaching us very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So also we understood that the soul, in the beginning we didn't have the body, and in the middle we are having the body, and at the end we will not have the body. Avyaktadini bhutani, vyaktamadhyani bharata, avyakta nidanani eva, tatraka paridevana. And at the same time, when we are having the body in this life, and we are not having the same body, we are not keeping the same body, we are keep on changing our bodies. Like we are changing the dress for the body, so similarly, the soul changes the body, basically. So basically, this body is a dress for the soul. Unfortunately, when we are wearing this dress, this material body as our dress, so we are struggling in this material veil because we are bound in this material veil by the three modes of material nature. Because in fact, those three modes of material nature, they are only making our body. They are only pushing us inside this body, forcing us inside this body, forcing us to take birth, forcing us to suffer in this material world. It's all because of our misuse of free will. So because we don't understand Bhagavad Gita, because of our ignorance, because if we don't understand Bhagavad Gita, then if we are misusing our free will, so when we associate with the three modes of material nature, and when we forget Krishna, then we try to enjoy in this material world with our senses. So then we are making wrong decisions. We are putting ourselves in big trouble in this material world. So that is the knowledge we are getting in Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Krishna is repeatedly teaching in these 20 slokas in the second chapter that one must realize that we are the soul. So then we are in knowledge, because Krishna told Arjuna that you are speaking like a learned person, but you don't know anything. Prajnavadamscha vasasi. So you are speaking. But how can we make sure? How can we make sure really practically in our life, how can we make sure that we can always live in that consciousness that we are not the body, we are the soul? This is a very practical question, very important question. How can we make sure? The important way is, first of all, to know this Bhagavad Gita fully. That is the main thing. So to know this Bhagavad Gita fully means we cannot just read it once and we understand everything and we think that we know it. Because this Bhagavad Gita is unlimited source of knowledge. The problem is in this material world, we have different conceptions which we have carried from our previous lives. We have already gone through unlimited number of lives, and we are our understandings, our faith, our conceptions, and our thinking, everything is based on all our previous lives. Now, how are we going to simply understand and accept the reality, the truth, the fact, which is very clearly given in this Bhagavad Gita. So that means we need to keep on studying this Bhagavad Gita again and again, many, many times, and live in Bhagavad Gita and enjoy by studying this Bhagavad Gita. Because when we are studying Bhagavad Gita, we are studying about our own self. That's a very important thing. We are realizing ourselves only by studying Bhagavad Gita. So that way, if this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to slowly and steadily, we will be able to bring ourselves like light into our life. Basically, this knowledge brings light and everything will become very clear. And our understanding, our focus, our concepts, everything will become very, very clear with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Krishna's mercy, we are very fortunate that we got this opportunity to study this Bhagavad Gita. We are making use of it. That's very important thing. That's why we are making great progress every day. We are studying, every week we are studying. Now this 18 chapters, 700 slokas. If we know in and out of this Bhagavad Gita fully, so that means we are ourselves connecting with Krishna all the time. We are very much connected with Krishna. So that way we are, when we are establishing our connection with Krishna, that way we are getting ourselves out of this material world. For example, now when we are studying this Bhagavad Gita, when we are discussing this Bhagavad Gita, studying this Bhagavad Gita, our mind is completely focused on this knowledge. We are not thinking about anything material. Now nothing is bothering us, nothing is disturbing us, because our mind is not going anywhere else. Our mind is just staying on this knowledge, because this knowledge is not different from Krishna, because Krishna is directly given this knowledge, time-tested knowledge. In fact, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is actually speaking to us only through this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. This is the only communication between us and Krishna, the direct communication, because whatever Krishna told Arjuna 5,000 years ago, it's very much relevant to us. And whatever we study in this Bhagavad Gita, actually Krishna is talking to us. So that is the important point. So that's why we are making great progress in this effort in understanding this Bhagavad Gita. So when Arjuna, as I said in the very beginning, like Arjuna told so many reasons to Krishna that why he should not fight. He was telling that we have come here to commit great sins. We have come here to commit great sins. Ahobata mahat papam, kartum yavasitavayam, yadraja sukalobena hantum swajanam udyadaga. So because we are greedy, yadraja sukalobena, lobena means loba means greedy. So because we want the enjoyment of this kingdom, we want to enjoy this kingdom. That's why we have come here to commit such great sins. Ahobata mahat papam kartum vyavasitavayam yadraja sukalobena hantum swajanam udyadaga. So we are prepared to kill our own kinsmen because of our greediness. That's what Arjuna tells Krishna. But what Krishna is saying that if you are not fighting here, you are going to get sins. That's what we finished in the last week. The sloka what we finished in the sloka number 32. So Krishna is saying that if you don't fight, then you are going to get sins. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way, what is right, what is wrong, we cannot decide ourselves. We cannot think that whatever we think is correct. We cannot take it for granted that whatever I am thinking, that is the right. So everyone should listen to that. So I am right. So that approach is not correct. So we need to always consult with Krishna. We need to always listen to Krishna, what is correct. Because when we study Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is directly talking to us. Krishna is directly giving all the knowledge what we need. And of course, that same Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the same Krishna who was giving this knowledge to Arjuna, who gave this knowledge to Arjuna 5,000 years ago in the battlefield, that same Krishna is he's in our heart. He's in our heart. Krishna is there. Krishna is there in everyone's heart. So if you realize this point, if you understand this fact, then we will be able to really feel Krishna all the time. So that way we will be able to listen to Krishna all the time. Now also we can listen to Krishna. Krishna can guide us. Krishna will guide us because Krishna is there in our heart, and Krishna knows whenever we want to do something and whatever decisions we want to take, whether that is the right or wrong, Krishna will guide us. Only important point is that we should be willing to listen to Krishna. That is the main thing. So if we are ready to listen to Krishna, then Krishna is going to guide us. Krishna is going to definitely bring all kinds of opportunities for us, and Krishna will take care of us very well. That is the main thing. Krishna will he will take care of us. There is no doubt about it. So here, by Krishna's mercy, we finish the sloka number 32 in that last week. So in the next sloka, in the sloka number 33, here we are going to the 31 and 32. Krishna started teaching Arjuna about that why he should fight. So what is the first sloka Arjuna told in the sloka number 31? So sloka number 31, Krishna told Arjuna that Swadharmam api chavekshya navikampitum argasi dharmyadi yuddha cheyonyade Kshatriyasya na vidyate. So Swadharmam api chavekshya navikampitum argasi dharmyadi yuddha cheyonyade Kshatriyasya na vidyate. So for a Kshatriya, there is nothing else better than fighting for Dharma. Dharmyadi yuddha cheyonyadi Kshatriyasya na vidyate. So, and Kshatriyas will be very happy when they get such fighting opportunities because the gates of heaven are widely open. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavritam. Swargadvaram apavritam sukinaga Kshatriyaga partha labante yuddham yidrisam. So Sukinaga Kshatriyaga, the Kshatriyas will be very happy. Sukinaga. So they will be very happy when the gates of heaven are widely open. Otherwise, the gates of hell only. If you are having this, Krishna is saying in another sloka, in the sloka in the 15th chapter, that Trividam Naraga Sedam Dwaram Nasanam Atmanaga Kama Krodaga Tata Lobaga. So Kama and Krodha and Loba, if they are there, so then the gates of hell will be open. Whereas here, for Kshatriya who are willing to fight for Krishna, the gates of heaven are open. So that's why Krishna is saying that Yadrichaya Sopapannam Swargadwaram Apavritam Sukinaga Kshatriyaga Partha Labante Yuddham Yidrisam. So Swargadwaram Apavritam. So the Dwaram, the opening, so Swargam, the heaven. Swarga means the heaven, the gates of heaven are widely open. That's what Krishna is saying. So in the next sloka, what we are studying in the sloka number 32, Krishna is continuing 33, what we are studying today. Atachetvam dharmyam sangramam nakarisyasi tataswadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsyasi. Atachetvam dharmyam sangramam nakarisyasi. But if you don't fight in this battle, atachetvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karisyasi. Tatas swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsisi. So you are going to swadharma, lose your swadharma, and you are going to lose your fame. Swadharmam kirtim cha hitva. So you will be lost. You will be, because by Arjuna, he said Kshatriya, his swadharma is to fight for righteousness, to make sure the righteousness prevails. So for dharma, so he needs to fight for dharma. That is the main thing as a Kshatriya. So because every one of us have got our own swadharma based upon our swabhava. So we may fit into Kshatriya or Brahmana or Vaisya or Sudra. It all depends upon what guna is dominating us most of the time. So based on that, Arjuna is a Kshatriya. So that's why Krishna said that Swadharmam api chavekshan avikampitum argasi dharmyadi yuddha cheyonyad kshatriyasya na vidyate. So kshatriyasya dharmyadi yuddha cheyo anyad kshatriyasya na vidyate. So for a Kshatriya, there is nothing other than fighting for dharma is better. So here Krishna is saying that apichetvam imam dharmyam. So if you don't do this dharma, sangramam na karisyasi. In this battle, if you don't fight, if you just leave this battle, that's what sangrama na karisyasi, then what is going to happen? You are going to lose your fame. You are going to lose your swadharma, your duty, your swadharma, and also you are going to gain what? You are going to gain papa. That is the sin. So hitva papam avapsasi. So you are going to gain sin. That's what Krishna is saying. That hitva papam avapsasi. What did Arjuna told Krishna in the beginning, in the first chapter? Arjuna told Krishna that ahobata mahat papam kartum vyavasitavai. So we have come here, commit the great sin. What Krishna is saying here, if you don't fight here and if you get out of this battle, if you don't fight here, then you are going to commit great sins. That's what Krishna is saying. Atachetvam imam dharmam sangramam nakarisyasi tataswadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsisi. So who is right? Is Arjuna right or Krishna right? Of course, Krishna is always right because he is the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and he is absolute all the time. And all the time, whatever he says is always right. Krishna is always right. He will never go wrong. So that way, like Arjuna, for us, we may think so many things in this world. Oh, this is right, that is right, I should do like this, I should do like that, so many things. But if you don't know, if you don't have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, many times you will be wrong actually. So it is like when you are doing some multiple choice questions. So if you don't know the subject very well, you select something thinking that it may be right, just false hope. But most of the time it will be wrong only. So like that, here, if we don't have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we just decide, if we just think that whatever I'm doing is right, then definitely we will be wrong. So that's why this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. Only if we have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to take right decisions. That's why Krishna is saying that Tadviddi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaga tattva darshanam. So you approach a bona fide spiritual master and surrender unto him and get this knowledge. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaga tattva darshanam. So that way, Krishna's mercy, we have got this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita written by Srila Prabhupada. So this is a very important knowledge for us, and we need to get this knowledge completely so that we will be able to make right decisions as per Krishna's decisions, basically as per Krishna's will. So when we are taking our decisions, which is also sanctioned, which is also approved by Krishna, so that means we are in the right direction. So that means we need to understand this Bhagavad Gita very well. So in the next sloka, so in the sloka number 34, so Krishna is continuing that Akitim chapi bhutani kadayisyante te vyaya sambhavitasya cha akirtihi maranad atarichyate. Akirtim chapi bhutani kadayisyanti te vyayam. So people will talk about all kinds of, they will describe you with all kinds of bad words. So you are a very respectable person. So sambhavitasya cha akirti. If that akirti, if you become very infame, if you there is dishonor, if it comes to you, akirtim chapi bhutani. Just because everyone here in this battlefield, everybody thinks that Arjuna is a great warrior, and nobody can stand in front of Arjuna. Everybody is afraid of Arjuna here. All the Duryodanas, everyone. In fact, Duryodhana told his teacher Dronacharya that Pasyetam Pandaputranam Acharya Magatim Chamam Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tavasisyena Dhimata. Then he says that Atrasura Magesasu Krishna Bhima Arjuna Samayuti. So there are many powerful heroic people in Pandava side. They are equal to fighting with Bhima and Arjuna. They are like Bhima and Arjuna. So like that, even Duryodhana was comparing that Arjuna was great. Everybody was thinking that Arjuna is great. And if Arjuna didn't fight and if Arjuna just left the battle, then what's going to happen? So all his, he was such a very famous, powerful hero. So he will lose all his reputation, all his respect. So that's why Krishna is saying that such a dishonor is worse than death. Sambhavitasya cha akirtihi maranad adrichyade. So it's worse than death. Afterwards, there is no point in yourself living. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So for such a respectable person, so we need to understand what Krishna's viewpoint here, because Krishna, first of all, he came to this well to establish dharma. And even Krishna says in the 4th chapter to Arjuna that yada yadagi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttana madharmasya tadatmanam srajami. So whenever there is a decline in dharma, whenever there is a predominant rise of religion, at that point of time, I discern myself. That's what Krishna is saying. So paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So to protect the pious and annihilate the miscreants and establish the principles of righteousness, so I discern myself millennium after millennium. So that's why Krishna has come here and Arjuna is saying that I won't fight. So that's why Krishna is telling her that you should fight for me. So in this way, we should also do everything for Krishna. That's what is very, very important. So in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing that. Bhayadranad uparatham mamsyante tvam maharataga yesam chatvam bahumatho bhutva yasyasi lagavam. So they think that you ran out of this battle because of fear. Bhayadranat uparatham mamsyante tvam maharataga. The great generals, the great people here, they are ready to, the chariot fighters, Maharataha, the great generals who are all assembled here, they are thinking that Arjuna is so great. Arjuna is so powerful and very great. They are all thinking of very highly about you. But what they are going to think now, if you get out of this battle, you simply ran out of fear. Bhayadranat uparadam mamsente tva Maharataha. Yesam chatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi lagavam. For them, you will become very insignificant then. So, bahumato bhutva yasyasi lagavam. So, then you will become useless in front of everyone. You will become very insignificant. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So, Arjuna didn't think about that at all. Arjuna, when he told Krishna various reasons why he should not fight, Arjuna didn't think about that at all. Arjuna didn't want to fight. Arjuna didn't want to kill his relatives, his grandfather and his teacher and his cousins, all such things. That's what Arjuna thought. Arjuna was not running out of fear. Arjuna didn't want to run out of fear. But the problem here is that this material world is like that way only here. So then afterwards, Arjuna has no life. If he just ran out of that battle, then even Arjuna told Krishna that let me go and beg and live. Gurunagatvahi mahanubhavan seyo bhoktam vaiksham apiga loke. So that's what Arjuna told Krishna. But Krishna is saying here, because then what is the respect Krishna will have there? If Arjuna ran out of the battle, what respect Krishna will have actually? Because Krishna himself came here to drive Arjuna's chariot. So here, that's why it's very important for us. For us actually to please Krishna, we need to understand this Bhagavad Gita fully. We also should understand that we are all like Arjuna. We are struggling, we are suffering in this material world, and it's a battlefield. And every day there is a battle going around in this material world. So we need to win. So that means we need to make our mind as our best friend. We need to control our mind. So that way we need to focus on Krishna, we need to listen to Krishna. So we need to set examples for others. So as Krishna says in the 3rd chapter to Arjuna, that yadyadacharati shrestaga tattateve tarojanaga sayat pramanam kurute lokaha tadanuvartade. So you set an example for others so that let the world can follow you. Arjuna Arjuna listened to Krishna. Arjuna understood Krishna's instructions. He understood the entire Bhagavad Gita and he didn't run away from the battle. And then that's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita now. Arjuna has set an example for all of us. After listening the entire Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, Arjuna decided not to fight. Because in the beginning already he decided not to fight. In the beginning already Arjuna told Krishna that Nayotsya iti Govindam. Govinda, I shall not fight. Arjuna already told Krishna. Arjuna already told his decision that he is not going to fight. But after listening the entire Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna at the end, if he decides not to fight, then will we be studying this Bhagavad Gita now? We won't be studying this Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna has set an example for all of us. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very, very important. So we need to study and understand this Bhagavad Gita fully. So then Krishna is continuing in the last sloka, like in the sloka what we are going to finish today, in this sloka number 36. Avachya badamscha bahu, avachya badamscha bahu, vadisyanti tavahitaga, nindandaga tava samartyam, tato dukkadaram nukim. So all people, there is tavahitagam. So they are your enemies. Ahitaga, your enemies. Your enemies describe you with all kinds of bad words. Vadisyanti, avachya vadams. Avachya vadams means very unkind and fabricated words. All kinds of words. Your enemies will scold you, will describe you with all kinds of bad words. Bahun. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadisyanti tavahitaga. Nindandaga tava samatyam. So tava samartyam, so your ability. So they will downgrade you. They will nindandaga tava samartyam. They will talk all kinds of bad words to you. So because you are very able person, I know that. Because Krishna himself told Arjuna many times. Krishna addresses Arjuna as Parantapa, Dhananjaya. Like that only Krishna addresses Arjuna, Mahabhago, Dhananjaya, Parantapa. Now, when Arjuna is not fighting in the battle anymore, and if he runs away from the battle, then everybody will be calling him in different names. Nobody will know Arjuna as Dhananjaya. Even we won't be now calling Arjuna as Dhananjaya or Parantapa, Mahabhago, all such things. So that's why Krishna is teaching. These are all reality. These are all very fake. Whatever Krishna is saying here, this is very important points which Krishna is telling Arjuna. Because knowing that we are not the body, we are the soul, the situation comes in this material world like that way only. In this material world, we are all struggling, we are all suffering, we are all like these days, the world has become so much globalized that nobody lives together, even no parents and children and all, they are all thousands of miles away, and we are all what to say, it is all this material world itself is designed like that way only. You cannot see anyone, you cannot help anyone, you cannot, it's all, we are all separated like anything, even while living in this material world itself. Not what to speak about death. When death comes, everyone is separated, but when we live itself, everyone is separated like anything in this material world. That is the nature of this material world. We need to understand. Only Krishna is only with us all the time. That is the point. Only Krishna is there, and we need to fully depend on Krishna. So that's why Krishna is saying, Arjuna, there, Avachya Vadamscha Bahun Vadisyanti Tavagidaga Nindandaga Tavasamathyam Tato Dukka Daram Dukkam. What else can bring you distress, dukkam, than this? If you leave, if you get out of this battle, and everybody talks about very badly about you, and if you lose your fame, and you get sins, and all these things, so then what other things can bring you distress than yourself fighting in this battle? Because Arjuna was thinking that, well, fighting in this battle, I am going to get distress. I don't know whether to win, whether to lose. But Krishna is saying that by not fighting in this battle, you are going to get even much more distress. What else you will get? What other distress can be more painful than this? That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we finish this sloka number 36 today in the second chapter. Hare Krishna. I'll stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.